You wake up at 7 a.m. You rush to work. You sit in traffic. You answer emails. You deal with deadlines. You're responsible. You're productive. You earn decent money. Not rich, but not struggling either. You pay your bills on time. You have a car. You're saving a little. You maybe even own a house. And yet, every few months, something happens. A medical bill, a school fee, car repair, family function, insurance premium. And suddenly your account balance drops to a number that makes your stomach tighten. You tell yourself, once I get that next raise, things will finally feel stable. But here's the scary part. You said that 3 years ago, and nothing feels different. If that hit a little too close to home, yeah, that's not an accident. My name is Floki, and I spend way too much time thinking about how middle-class families slowly build wealth without realizing they're sabotaging themselves. If you're someone who earns a decent income but still feels financially stuck, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Look, this video is going to be uncomfortable because I'm not going to blame the system. I'm going to break down the silent financial traps that are socially accepted, encouraged, even celebrated. Here's what most people don't realize. The middle class doesn't lose financially because of stupidity. It loses because of normalization. The most dangerous financial decisions are the ones that feel responsible. Let's start with the biggest one. You get a raise from $50,000 to $65,000. You feel proud, deserved. So, naturally, you upgrade your apartment. You start ordering better groceries. You upgrade your phone. You take slightly nicer vacations. Nothing dramatic, just small upgrades. Here's the math. At $50,000 take-home, maybe you saved $400 per month. At $65,000 take-home, you should be saving $1,200 per month. But instead, you're saving $450. This is lifestyle inflation. Now, here's the psychological part. Your brain doesn't measure success by net worth. It measures success by lifestyle comfort. When income rises, your brain wants immediate reward to confirm growth. It wants visible proof. So instead of increasing investment contributions, you increase visible upgrades. Now, you might be thinking, isn't that the point of earning more? Here's the thing. Yes, but in moderation. If every raise increases spending by 80% and savings by 20%, you stay financial average forever. If you reverse it, 20% lifestyle, 80% investing, your trajectory changes dramatically. Let's do the math. If you invest an extra $800 per month at 8% annual return starting at 30, by 60, that becomes roughly $1.2 to $1.4 million. That's not luck, that's restraint. Homeownership is considered the middle-class dream. Stable, smart, responsible. But here's what most people don't realize. A primary residence is not automatically an investment. It's a liability with potential appreciation. Let's say you buy a $500,000 home. 10% down is $50,000. Mortgage at 6.5% for 30 years. Your total paid over time, roughly $1 million, including interest. Yes, the house may appreciate at 3 to 4% annually long-term, but after maintenance, 1 to 2% of value per year, property taxes, insurance, and opportunity cost, the real return is modest. The trap is stretching to the maximum the bank approves. Banks approve based on gross income, not your comfort, not your stress level, not your risk tolerance. Here's what most people don't realize. Being house poor destroys flexibility, and flexibility is wealth. If 45% of your take-home income goes towards housing, one layoff can destroy you. But if housing is 25 to 30%, you breathe, and breathing room compounds into opportunity. Look, cars are emotional purchases. They signal progress. The average car payment today is over $700 for new vehicles. That's $8,400 per year. For 5 years, $42,000 total. Now imagine instead you bought a reliable used car for $15,000 and invested the $400 difference monthly. At 8% annual return over 20 years, that becomes over $235,000 from one decision. This is where it gets really interesting. Most middle-class families upgrade cars every 5 to 7 years. That cycle can cost over $500,000 in lost opportunity over 30 years, not because cars are evil, but because depreciation plus financing equals compounding in reverse. Middle-class security is built around one belief: my job is stable. But layoffs are rising across industries. Automation is accelerating. Industries disappear. Here's the psychological trap. Certainty feels safe. Entrepreneurship feels risky. But mathematically, relying on one income source is concentration risk. If you build a side income of even $600 per month and invest it, over 25 years at 8%, that's around $570,000. Small streams become rivers over time. Diversification isn't just for investments, it's for income. I'll invest once things settle. Things never settle. Kids expand, expenses expand, lifestyle expands. Let's compare two people. Person A invests $500 per month from 25 to 35 and then stops. Person B invests $500 per month from 35 to 65. Person A invests $160,000 total. Person B invests $180,000 total. At 8%, Person A still often ends up ahead because compounding rewards time more than effort. Here's what most people don't realize. The first 10 years of investing are more important than the last 20. Delay is expensive. You don't upgrade because you need to, you upgrade because everyone else did. Your friend buys a bigger house. Your colleague buys a new SUV. Instagram shows luxury vacations, and slowly your standards shift upward. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. You normalize every upgrade quickly, so satisfaction resets. Now, you might be thinking, are we supposed to live like monks? No, but ask this question. If nobody saw this purchase, would I still want it? That single filter removes a shocking amount of waste. You pay it off monthly, so you feel disciplined. But research shows people spend 12 to 18% more when using credit instead of cash because the pain of paying is delayed. If your annual spending is $50,000, even a 10% overspend equals $5,000 extra. Invested at 8% for 25 years, that's over $350,000 lost. Not in interest, in behavior. Convenience costs more than people realize. Income is temporary. Wealth is ownership. A $250,000 earner spending $230,000 is fragile. A $90,000 earner investing $25,000 annually becomes wealthy. Here's the difference. Income depends on effort. Wealth depends on assets working without you. Ownership in businesses, stocks, index funds, real estate. Here's the thing. The wealthy focus on acquiring assets. The middle class focuses on upgrading lifestyle. Inflation averages around 3% historically. That means money halves in purchasing power roughly every 24 years. If your savings sit in a bank earning 2% while inflation is 3%, you're losing silently. Cash feels safe, but long-term, excessive cash guarantees loss. The middle class often overvalues safety and undervalues growth. All of these traps connect to one thing: short-term emotional comfort. Your brain evolved for survival, not compounding. Spending reduces stress immediately. Investing delays gratification. Upgrading signals progress instantly. Wealth is built by resisting biological wiring. That's uncomfortable, but powerful. Here's your practical blueprint. Automatically invest 20% of take-home income before lifestyle spending. Cap housing at 30% of take-home income. Avoid car loans longer than 3 years. Increase savings rate with every raise. Build one additional income stream within 12 months. Track net worth quarterly, not just income. Invest primarily in low-cost index funds for simplicity. Nothing extreme, just disciplined. Look,
The middle class isn't stupid, it's conditioned. Conditioned to consume, conditioned to upgrade, conditioned to chase income instead of assets. But here's what most people don't realize. You don't need to out-earn everyone, you need to out-discipline your past self. Small decisions, repeated for decades. That's it. Wealth isn't built in one heroic year, it's built in boring consistency. So here's my challenge. Pick one trap from this video. Fix it this month. Automatically invest that income. Delay that upgrade. Cancel that unnecessary expense. Future you is watching, and future you doesn't care about the car you drove in 2026. Future you cares about freedom. If this shifted your perspective even slightly, hit subscribe, because we're not here to be socially normal. We're here to be financially free. I'll see you in the next one.